Hello rail fans, and welcome back to another video here on the Rusty Boxcar channel. Got a really good one here for you. This is our recent trip to Florida. So we're going to see some trains in Georgia and Florida, some stuff that we caught on the way down, and also a couple of days that I traveled around Florida trying to catch some things while we were down there. This video is going to have a bit of a different format than normal. I'm going to come in and give a description of the next train we're going to see in between each of the trains, and then let the full train run by so that you guys can capture the sights and sounds without any narrative interruptions. So first up here, we're going to see a Norfolk Southern manifest. I wasn't able to capture the symbol from it, didn't have the scanner running at this point. I think it could have been maybe 362. If so, that's a Sheffield, Alabama to Chattanooga train. This one was a manifest with tankers in the front and intermodal cars in the back. Caught it on Saturday the 4th at 11 a.m. First caught sight of it off I-24 as we were making our way from Nashville to Chattanooga. Saw it just east of Lake Nickajack, managed to get off at an exit. Saw a gravel road on Google Maps that would take me up trackside, and wound up at the Chambers Road crossing in Wilder, Georgia. Pretty nice scenery. We'll likely head back to there at some point to get some additional footage. The road, Chambers Road that crosses, is right at the Tennessee-Georgia state line. So as the train's coming to us, it's in Tennessee. And as it passes us, it has just crossed over into Georgia. It's going to be led up by two locomotives, NS 4311 and NS 9577. That leader's an AC 44 C6M, and then behind it is a C40-9W. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Be back after this to describe the next one. All right, next up, we're going to drop down to Austell, Georgia. We managed to get there about 4 hours after the Amtrak should have come through, but fortunately for us, it was running pretty late that day, so we pulled up to the Railfan Park right around 1:05 in the afternoon on Saturday the 4th. The Amtrak train came through about 4 minutes later. Had some difficulty with my iPhone. I think that it was running warm from using the GPS in the car, so I think that the camera shut off due to overheating. But we managed to see the entire train. We just don't see the rear car come through the frame. The camera shut off on me right as it was in our view. So again, this is going to be Amtrak 19, the Crescent, that goes from New York to New Orleans. Just a little under a 1,400-mile trip. We caught it at the Austell Railfan Park, as I mentioned. It's going to have 7 cars behind the 2 locomotives, and those 2 are both P42DCs. We got Amtrak 131 in the lead and 17 trailing behind it. All right, for our third train, we're going to drop down to the Cordele Railfan Park, or Railfan platform. It's a pretty nice place. We visited it last year, not only on the way down, but on the way back. So we stopped there, got there about 4:20, 4:15 or so on Saturday the 4th. Ran into a couple of really nice rail fans that were already there. I'm going to post their channel information in a link down in the description of this video. Their YouTube channels are KCS Rail Studios and Eastern Railfan. Got some really nice videos on their channel. Really nice guys. They were both spending the weekend there at the Railfan platform. Told me they got there the night before and caught about 20 trains during the overnight hours. So they were really helpful. They had their scanners going, also getting information through Facebook and other sources, and were able to give me train symbols as well as tell me what was coming next. So first up, we got NS 152. This one is a work train / manifest going from Lanedale Yard in Valdosta, Georgia to Brosnan Yard up in Macon, Georgia. Came through right at 4:23, caught it with the iPhone. Had a single locomotive, NS 9909. That's a C40-9W, so we're going to see lots of work equipment at the front end of this train, and then some manifest cars behind it. All right, next up, still at the Railfan Park. This one came through at about 5:15, so almost an hour later. We're going to see CSX M605, which is a manifest train going from Rice Yard in Waycross, Georgia, to Gentilly Yard in New Orleans. Going to have 3 leaders, CSX 7257 and 5443. That's a CM44AC that used to be 381, and an ES40DC. Trailing third is going to be KCS 4154 and SD70 Ace. And then we're going to get a mid-train DPU, CSX 738, which is an ES44AH. For this one, had the drone up, so captured some ground audio from the GoPro. Used the drone to kind of hover over town. We see the train come into view. Down the tracks, you're going to see an SD40 that's parked there. We're then going to see the train come in. I zoom in and out a little bit. I'm trying to capture a building behind the train. It was a restaurant named the Southern Belle. I thought it'd be pretty cool to get that right behind that KCS bell, but had the drone a little bit up too high, and the framing just didn't work out, so you couldn't see the sign on the building. But then after it passes there, I'm going to follow it down to the diamond, and we'll hover the drone right there at the diamond, so you can see it crossing the diamond as we hear that pounding sound in the video. All right, so next up after that, we're going to fast forward a couple days to Tuesday the 7th. Went out for a few hours around the Tampa area, hit some of the hot spots that I've seen in Danny Harmon's videos. And he actually just put out a really nice one this week with some rail fanning tips around the Tampa area. So I'll put a link to that video in the description below as well. I'm sure that most of the people who subscribe and watch my videos are also fans of distance signals, so you may have already seen it. But I'll drop that link down below anyway. If anybody's going to be going to Tampa, highly suggest you watch that. Most of the spots he covered, I did manage to go by. Just didn't have a lot of luck while we were down there. But first up, we're going to catch Amtrak 91, the Silver Star. It is a New York City to Miami train. Travels about 1,522 miles. We're going to see it off East Broadway Avenue in the East Lake area, just east of Tampa. It's going to have 2 liters, Amtrak 147 and 158. Both of those are P42 DCs. This one was running pretty close to on time. Caught it at 12:48 on Tuesday the 7th. One interesting thing about this train that I did not previously realize is that they changed locomotives in Washington. So from New York to Washington, it's headed up by an ACS 64. And then from Washington south, it's got the P42 DCs. Its track speed in the Northeast corridor is rated at 125. So that's why they use that ACS 64. And then from Washington south to top track speed 79. So that's why they make that switch out from the one locomotive to the 2. So pretty interesting. Hope you guys enjoy this one, and we'll be back in just a second. All right, on that Tuesday the 7th, spent quite a bit of time driving around Tampa, hitting up some of the points that not only I've seen in Danny's videos, but also that I've seen in some trains that come through the Nashville area that have destinations. Checked out the Hookers Point area where some ethanol trains go. Didn't see anything there. Lots of industry down in the Port of Tampa. Saw a lot of empty cars sitting around, but didn't see any movement. Missed a couple locals I heard on the radio. Did wind up back out at the east end of Yeoman Yard at the right off Adamo Drive, which is a spot Danny's recommended to me in the past. Managed to only catch a couple engines light backing into the yard. I think that maybe these were going to be the leaders on I-044 that night. I know it left after I had been in the area, but we were going to have CSX 3318 and CSX 728, an ET 44AH and an ES 44AH. We'll catch them backing down engines light into the yard. And last up, we're going to see Amtrak 91 again. This one's on Thursday the 9th. So on Thursday, I took off and went to Plant City, sat there for a little over 2 hours. This Amtrak was the only thing that I saw. I think you have to get there a little bit earlier in the day, or maybe even later in the evening to catch anything. But we're going to see 91 come through, that same New York City to Miami route that we saw in the earlier Amtrak. This one's going to have two of the P42 DCs again, Amtrak's 150 and 43. On this particular day, after I was done in Plant City, I went out to Lakeland, checked out some of the scenes around Winston Yard, missed a local going in, caught it as it was past me and already going into the yard, and then dropped down to Mulberry to check out some of the phosphate areas down in the Bone Valley, but didn't manage to see anything down there either. So not a lot of traffic out running around the hours that I was, but still a pretty worthwhile trip. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the format of this video. Do you guys like me dropping in between each one? It definitely lengthens the video out, but also gives you kind of an uninterrupted view of each train. So let me know whether or not you liked it in the comments, and see you again soon with a new video. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click on the thumbs up below to give us a like. Also, please click on the Rusty Boxcar logo on the right side of the screen to get a subscription to the channel. And send us a comment. Really enjoy reading all your comments, and I try to respond to each one of them. Thanks, and have a nice day.